So yesterday was the big day that Chapter 3 of Fortnite had ended, and if you remember, I streamed it, and my stream had to be ended abruptly, which, before I could give my final opinion on the event, and thankfully it did, because my mind was probably fogged up by adrenaline and everything that happened. So after my mind has gotten some time to kind of process the whole event and process the whole information, I concluded my final say on how I think the event was. My conclusion is that the event was very okay. It was not great at all. It was the final cutscene was about the best part of the whole thing, but overall the 40 minutes of the event that you're running around and collecting stuff, it was just not very good. A lot of people seem to be having a problem with the fact that it was like a bunch of tasks that you had to do, but I never really had an issue with that. That was never an issue to me. The issue I had was that the beginning of the event, the Herald just so easily took it over. It just makes you question why the whole season was there in the first place. Why did the Herald not just come out of nowhere and then just take out the island if it was that easy? And also the fact that that was the first thing that happened. The island was taken over. We never got to figure out what was inside what was past those doors outside of the statue of the Foundation. And we never figured out what those 7 hatches on the island next to it was. I really thought that the finale, when I first saw it back in Season 1, I really thought the finale was going to show us what those were. But no, they were just there and didn't do anything in the end. And then I never, ever since I saw it was the Chapter 3 finale, it really never just sat right with me. The fact that Chapter 3 ended that early. That's definitely something that I did not like about it, is that it ended so early. We were not even a full year into that chapter. It was like 2 to 3 days away from being a full year in that chapter, whereas the regular chapter lasts 2.5 years. It really just didn't. Yeah, it didn't. The issue with that is the fact that the last 2 islands we were able to like build more of an emotional bond to it because of the memories we made. Yeah, sure, we made a ton of memories on the Chapter 3 island, but it still feels so new to us because it's only been 1 year and not a full 2.5 years like the previous chapters. And the hype wasn't there because it was just, yeah, we didn't have as much to hold on to or be worried about losing. And that was another issue with the event, is that it was so underwhelming. I mean, first, yeah, when after the cutscene we get teleported to that big oasis where there's chunks of the island. Yeah, sure, for a few minutes I felt adrenaline because I'm like, oh, what do we got to do? We got to do this, that, do that. But as slowly as time went on, you just started to realize, oh, nothing's happening. We're just doing all these tasks. There was no adrenaline whatsoever. And then throughout the thing, you kept thinking something was going to happen because the 0 point kept, like, glowing and, like, things kept shaking. But all it ended up doing was pulling more fragments of different realities to you so you can do more tasks, more fruitless tasks. And I thought that the island, everyone was saying the island was going to have POIs that were from the previous 3 islands. People just kept saying like the island was going to be a combination of all 3 islands. That just and what backed that up, what confirmed that in my mind, was at the event there were these flashbacks. You had flashbacks of Kevin the Cube. You had flashbacks of fighting the monster back in Season 9 and all the other events back in Chapter 1, and that made me think Chapter 1 and 2 and 3, and I'm just like, oh, that must mean that things are going to return from the previous chapters that we've had before, but no, it's just a completely new island. So I feel like I don't see the point of why they had all those flashbacks and why they pulled together a bunch of pieces of the reality that we had if in the end they were just going to pull together a bunch of stuff we never seen before. I really don't understand why the Paradigm pulled together a bunch of random stuff we never seen. I thought it was just a bunch of stuff that we've seen before and was just going to kind of merge and create something somewhat new but also very familiar. But it turns out it's just something really, really new. And I honestly like this new season, the new chapter so far. It's very good. I like it. It's just I cannot get over the fact of how early chapter 3 ended, and just the event. It wasn't all that great. It wasn't people are going as far as saying that it was the worst event in Fortnite history. You people, you're overreacting. It was not that horrible. It was not that bad. It was it was okay at best, but it was not the worst in Fortnite history. Like that's just too much overkill. But anyway, yeah, that's my take on the event. It was overall okay. It did not meet my standards. It was very underwhelming, but we got a good chapter out of it. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.